Hey everyone, welcome to Finding the Funds. I'm Jen. I'm a cash budgeter in California with my family of four. Um, so it's kind of a weird video because I'm not actually doing any cash stuffing or anything with cash. I debated about this. This is something that I've wanted to talk about, just chit-chatting, but I never feel like I have the time because I just don't want my videos to be like over an hour long. And my next video that I'm about to do, record, is like my end of February count up condensing. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll just talk about it then. But those are already long videos. That kind of video is already a long one. So I didn't want to add to it. So I don't know if I'm going to put this onto another video and add them together or just make it a standalone video. But I've been wanting to update you guys on my life because it does coincide with finances and budget. But I just wanted to talk to you guys that, like 2026 so far has not been a very good year for us. I've talked about this before. And so if you're new, I did start January with termites, and that cost $2,600 to exterminate. I then, beginning of February, I had to replace 2 of my tires from some random, I don't know what happened. There was a rip in them, and I don't know how they got there. So that cost me $622. Literally like 3 or 4 days after I replaced my tires, I found a nail in another tire. I had to go back there. Luckily, they said the nail went in this perfect position where it didn't really damage the tire. So I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to pay anything. And I'm very grateful for that. But it was just that whole, like, I was just there. Now I have a nail in my tire. I thought I was going to have to replace it, all that stuff. Okay. Come mid-February, President's Day holiday on Monday. Rainy day for us. And then, yeah. So anyway, part of our gutters fell off our house. So I had to pay $650 to then replace those gutters. It just turns out that whoever installed them originally didn't do that great of a job. Okay, so that's been my year so far. Just a lot of financial hits. And I want to be like, I don't know if this is too much information, but it is what it is. I'm going to say, like, financially in our home, like, I make more money than my husband, who I call him my husband. We're not married. We've been together for 8 years. We have 2 kids together, but I make more money than him just in my full-time job, right? But I also have a rental property, so add on rental income. Basically, the home that we live in, I own, and he has no ownership from it. I inherited this home. I also own outright the rental property that I had before I met him. So he has no ownership in that either. So because he has no ownership, I am responsible for the home maintenance. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't contribute to household costs or, if we needed something like he would contribute, but the big maintenance costs rest solely on me. So I paid for the termites. I paid for the new gutters. And if anything else is to happen the rest of this year to this home or my other home, my rental home, I am responsible to pay for that. So when I say we, I kind of do mean me. I am financially bearing all these costs. So it's affecting me more, I would say. And I'm not trying to say that that's right or wrong. To me, that's just how we're doing it. I totally understand why. Like, if he doesn't have any ownership in the home, why would he put money into it? Things like that, especially my rental home. That's also saying, though, because I make more, because I have extra income, I am paying for the vast majority of childcare. And childcare is a lot of money. We have 2 kids in full-time care. One is at a preschool and one is at a daycare. It's over $2,000 a month to pay for their childcare. And I'm paying roughly around $2,000 of that childcare. So on top of everything I just said, we've had a recent really, really, really big and way more emotional hit. So like I said, my youngest, my 1-year-old goes to daycare, and this daycare I love. I found it with my daughter. So 2 years ago, maybe, like when my daughter went to daycare, I found this daycare. It's 20 minutes outside of our neighborhood because all of the daycares in my neighborhood are so packed. They have like a year wait list. They're very expensive. They're like 12 kids at the daycare, which is fine. But I found this daycare that's like 20 minutes away from us, and I thought it is still a real good gem. Like, I love the lady who runs a daycare. My daughter was like one of 4 kids at that daycare. She keeps it very small. Her prices are less than the daycares in my neighborhood, which she would be one of 12. And my daughter loved it. She still goes back to it when she like has school breaks. I'll put her in that daycare. And the lady loves my daughter loves her, and the whole thing. So when it was time for my son to go there, I was very relieved because I already had a daycare that I trusted and who I knew. Now, granted, I cannot compare the two because my daughter and my son are, one, different, but two, my daughter had very much first child privileges. We had a private nanny for her until she was 2 years old, and then she went into full-time daycare at 2. My son, because he's the second child and we have to pay for our first child as well, we could not do a nanny. He went into full-time daycare at 6 months, and he's 1 now, so he's been there for 6 months. And overall, he's been having a tough time. Like a month or 2 ago, he had a really bad day, and we were thinking, like, do we need to pull him out? And the daycare was like, let's just give it some time. I think he's going to get better. The weather's going to get better. We're going to be outside a lot more. And here we are today. And, I picked him up from daycare the other day, and he had another tough day. Granted, it was literally the day 1 of transitioning him without a bottle of formula because he's 1 now. So we stop formula and we start giving him whole milk, but he's not used to that whole milk. He's used to a warm bottle of formula. So when you give him a cold cup or even bottle of milk, like, he's not having it. He doesn't really like it. So of course I picked him up, and she's like, he had a really tough day. I couldn't give him a bottle. And basically it was decided, like, he's no longer going to go there. It's just too much stress on him, on her, on the other kids. And, that to me is a really big emotional, like, blow for me, because it's like, I feel guilty as a mom, like, my baby has been there for 6 months, and if he's been having a tough time, I don't know, because I'm not there to see everything, but maybe he's been having a really tough time for the whole 6 months, and he's been suffering through it, and she's been suffering through it, and the other kids have been suffering through it. I don't know. I'm sure there are a couple of days, or some days that are good, some days that are bad. But, it's hard to not know the absolute truth because you can't see it with your own eyes. And, like, is it my son? And it's like, everything's great there, and it's just my son who's just not having it. Or, are there just things being missed at the daycare? Maybe it's not a right fit, like you say. It's not a right, like some people say, it's not a right fit, the environment. Is she missing cues? Is he just tired and she's not putting him down? Is he just hungry and he's not getting fed enough or as often as he needs? Whatever it is, I can't know for sure. But now we're in this position of having to find alternative care. And that is weighing on me a lot because it is very difficult to find full-time childcare. Like I said, everything pretty local to me within like a 15-minute radius, it's full. They're like, yeah, we may have some openings in July, but we have a wait list. So it's that, plus it's twice as expensive. So financially, if we even get to that point, and so I don't know, we're just kind of scrambling right now. And it's not that she's like kicking us out and like, this is your last day. She's giving us some time, but it's like the clock is ticking. And I don't know if we definitely may have to like definitely we may have to do a nanny because literally there just aren't open places. I don't know, there's so much going through my head. Like, even if we find a place that's available, is he going to do well there? Is he still, you know what I mean? I don't know. So like, but the idea of like looking at a nanny, the costs of a nanny are, I don't even know how we would afford it. I genuinely don't. Yeah, so that's what's been going on. And like, I'm just emotionally, I am at my brink. Just feeling overwhelmed and just kind of alone because, yes, financially, it's more on my shoulders than me and my husband. And I just think maybe naturally as a mom, it affects me more emotionally. Like, I think my husband can go about his day and not be too affected by what's going on. But I'm like sitting and thinking about it. And also, I'm taking on like the dread and fear of the future because I'm just like, what else is going to come our way? Like, what other expenses are we going to have or setbacks, you know, home, car, health, like God knows what. And I'm also really, really dreading. So this year, my daughter will be 4 and she's eligible for TK in August. And here in California, I don't know how it works in other places, but TK is a lottery system. So we apply to our school in our district, which is how it's supposed to go. Like, you live in the school district, that's your school. But TK is a lottery. You don't have to be in the district. Anyone can apply, and it doesn't matter if you're in the district or not. And, you know, in my head and in my budget, this year, starting August, full-time care for her was off the table because it's like she's going to go to TK. Although that's half a day, it's free. And they offer at that school after school care. And they offer 2 programs. One you pay for, one is free. So there's a possibility she will not have any childcare costs, which is huge, especially now where we are with my son. That is a huge financial, you know, burden off my shoulders. And even if we still had to pay for half the day, like we didn't get into the free program, it's still cut in half. But now with this year, I'm just like, my gut is telling me she's not going to get in. And the results come out in 2 weeks. And so I am dreading it. It just seems like that's what's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, guys, if I come back on here and I say, guess what, she got in, great. I will like eat my words. I was wrong. I want to be wrong about this, guys. But the fact that this happened with my son in 2 weeks time to then hear, nope, your daughter didn't go to TK. You're going to have to find another year of full-time care for her. It just seems so likely the way this year has been going. And so I am dreading that and dreading taking that on. So I'm just overwhelmed. And I'm sorry that this is such a downer and I'm not even cash stuffing. But every time I sit down and I film a video and I ask like, how's your week going? Da da da. Well, you know, our week, it's been whatever, raining or it's going to be sunny. I just feel like I'm not saying what I want to say because I really want to say all of this. Like, this is how our week / month / months and this whole year so far has been going. It's just, but it's so much to say in a video. Yeah, so I just wanted to like dedicate this time to get that out there so that I can film my other videos without that weighing on my head or weighing on my shoulders or like being in the back of my head. And yeah, so that is everything that is going on with us. I, you know, hope you all are having a better year. Yeah, and I know we'll get through it. And you know, everything with time passes and things do work out. And yeah, I mean, right now everyone's healthy and that's really what's important. So yeah, I will be doing my February end of month count up and condensing in a minute here. So I don't know when I'll post this or whatever, but thank you if you have watched this and you have listened to me. I appreciate it. I will talk to you later. Bye.